You know, folks, Meghan Markle's journey from Hollywood darling to royal headline maker has been anything but smooth. And recently, the spotlight turned harsh. Picture this: Hollywood insiders calling her the least self-aware public figure. Yeah, it sounds brutal. But let's unpack what's really going on behind those flashing cameras and headlines. So what sparked this wave of criticism? It's not just idle gossip. Royal commentator Lee Cohen didn't mince words when he called Meghan the most tone-deaf figure in the public eye and said she's been rightly humiliated by Hollywood's sharp wit. Remember, this isn't a quiet whisper. It's coming from the heart of the entertainment industry itself. Hollywood, the land of glitz and glam, has not been kind. The Hollywood Reporter famously labeled Meghan and Harry as the biggest losers in Hollywood, a harsh slap for a couple who once walked red carpets with ease. That kind of headline sticks like glue, and it's been echoed by other critics calling their public image an American hustle. What makes this story even juicier is how it's been immortalized in pop culture. Ever heard of South Park? That edgy cartoon took a stab at them in 2023, featuring a fictional Canadian prince and his wife on a privacy tour, clearly a nod to Meghan and Harry's own struggles with fame and media intrusion. Satire like that? It cuts deep. And let's not forget the podcasts and late-night shows where Meghan and Harry have been called out repeatedly. One big Spotify exec even branded them grifters after their much-hyped podcast failed to make waves. Talk about a public relations nightmare. But what really gets people talking is Meghan's recent appearance on the Aspire podcast with Emma Grede. She openly addressed the lies she feels are spread about her, urging folks to tell the truth. It felt like a subtle jab at the royal family, and the internet lit up with reactions. Some supportive, others downright scornful. All this buzz has pushed Meghan into a kind of cultural lightning rod, loved by some, but definitely the target of scathing criticism, especially in Hollywood circles. And if you peek behind the curtain, the story is way more layered than just tabloid headlines. Stay tuned as we dive deeper into the tangled web of Meghan's Hollywood humiliation, the royal family fallout, and what this means for her public image going forward. Now, here's where things get even more interesting. Meghan's tone-deaf label didn't come out of thin air. It's tied to some pretty serious moments, like that infamous 2021 Oprah interview where she made heavy allegations against the royal family. Allegations that even Prince Harry seemed to distance himself from later on. That interview was a bombshell, shaking royal traditions to the core, but it also opened Meghan up to intense scrutiny. Hollywood's reaction? Mixed, but often harsh. While some sympathize with the pressures she faced stepping into the royal spotlight, many insiders see her as out of touch with reality. Think about it. Hollywood's a tough crowd, and when someone who's used to the glamour of Tinseltown steps into a world steeped in centuries-old protocol, the culture clash is inevitable. And then there's the media's ongoing narrative that Meghan and Harry are struggling to maintain relevance. From the biggest losers in Hollywood headlines to the American hustle tag, there's a sense that their star power is fading fast. The failed Netflix and Spotify deals haven't helped either. Those were supposed to be their big comeback moves, but instead, they sparked fresh waves of criticism. On the lighter side, comedy has found a rich vein to mine here. Comedians and satirical shows have relentlessly lampooned Meghan and Harry. Chris Rock's jab calling Meghan a light-skinned lottery winner, and South Park's fictional portrayal paint a picture of a couple whose public image is tangled in controversy and humor alike. But let's not forget the public's role in this saga. Social media platforms have become battlegrounds where Meghan's defenders and critics clash daily. Hashtags like #ToneDeafMeghan and Meghan Lampooned have trended, racking up thousands of posts. The engagement numbers are staggering. Videos dissecting her every move hit hundreds of thousands of views within days, showing just how captivated people remain. Interestingly, the demographic fueling much of this chatter leans conservative, predominantly men aged 25 to 44 from the US and UK. This group seems particularly attuned to the narrative of Meghan as an outsider disrupting royal tradition. It's a fascinating glimpse into how culture, politics, and celebrity intertwine in today's media landscape. This isn't just gossip. It's a story about identity, perception, and the harsh glare of public life. Meghan's experience shows how fame can be a double-edged sword, a dazzling spotlight that can quickly turn into an unforgiving glare. Next, we'll explore how this all fits into the broader royal family drama and what it reveals about the cultural tensions simmering beneath the surface. Diving deeper into the royal family drama, Meghan's struggles are not just about Hollywood or media spins. They tap into centuries-old royal traditions and tensions. Her allegations of racism within the family, particularly during that Oprah interview, sent shockwaves across the monarchy and the public alike. It's a topic still sensitive, often polarizing opinion worldwide. The royal family has historically been cloaked in a veil of tradition, discretion, and duty. Meghan's candidness shattered that veneer, sparking fierce debates about race, privilege, and modernity. For many, she represents a disruptive force challenging the old guard. For others, she's a symbol of bravery speaking truths that needed to be heard. Hollywood's harsh judgment partly stems from this clash. The entertainment industry champions openness and progressive values, but also values image and perception. A tricky balance Meghan's navigating under relentless scrutiny. It's ironic how the very world she comes from now sometimes seems the harshest critic. Public sentiment reflects this complicated picture. About 70% of social media discussions trend negative, tagging Meghan as inauthentic or out of touch. Yet, the remaining 30% defend her fiercely, calling out media bias and racism. This divide highlights how Meghan's story resonates differently depending on cultural and political lenses. Comparisons to other public figures who faced backlash after revealing behind-the-scenes truths are inevitable. Think Piers Morgan or Gwyneth Paltrow. Both have had their share of public battles over authenticity and image. Meghan's saga fits this pattern, but is intensified by the royal context and global media spotlight. Meanwhile, conspiracy theories and speculation swirl. Some argue Hollywood's turned hostile as a protective reflex, distancing itself from anyone perceived as problematic. Others see the criticism as a coordinated effort to undermine Meghan's future ventures in entertainment and philanthropy. Regardless of the motives, Meghan's experience underscores the complex dance between celebrity, media, and power. She's caught in a whirlwind where every statement, gesture, and project gets dissected for clues about her true intentions. And speaking of projects, remember the failed podcast and Netflix deals? They weren't just business moves. They were a bid to carve out a new identity beyond royal headlines. Their disappointing receptions added fuel to the critics' fire, reinforcing the narrative of decline. All this paints a vivid picture of a woman fighting to redefine herself amid harsh judgment from all sides. It's a story packed with drama, cultural conflict, and the very human quest for acceptance. Up next, we'll break down how these events have shaped Meghan's public persona and what that means for her future. Now, looking at Meghan Markle's public persona today, it's clear she's become a lightning rod for debate. The tone-deaf label isn't just about a few missteps. It's about how the public perceives her authenticity, or lack thereof. And in the world of celebrity and royalty, perception often is reality. Meghan's attempts to tell her truth in interviews and podcasts come with mixed results. On one hand, fans praise her courage to speak openly. On the other, critics accuse her of manipulating narratives to gain sympathy. It's a delicate tightrope walk, and missteps are amplified by millions watching worldwide. Her recent podcast chat with Emma Grady was no exception. When Meghan mentioned the lies spread about her and urged people to tell the truth, it struck a nerve. Was it a call for transparency, or another subtle dig at the royal family? The ambiguity fueled endless debates online, generating viral content and sparking heated conversations. Meanwhile, Hollywood's ongoing mockery continues to shape the narrative. Satirical takes from comedians, TV shows, and even animated series remind audiences of Meghan's controversial status. The humor is sharp, but revealing. It shows just how deeply her story resonates in pop culture. Social media analytics reveal a massive engagement spike anytime Meghan is mentioned, with posts generating thousands of likes, shares, and comments. Videos analyzing her every move rack up hundreds of thousands of views within days, proving her staying power despite the criticism. Interestingly, the demographic driving much of the discussion tends to skew conservative and skeptical, focusing on themes of tradition, authenticity, and cultural identity. These conversations often intersect with broader societal debates about race, privilege, and celebrity. Yet, despite all the heat, Meghan retains a loyal fan base who see her as a trailblazer, challenging outdated norms. For them, her story is one of resilience and courage, a modern royal navigating an ancient institution under intense scrutiny. This duality, between harsh critique and fierce support, is at the heart of Meghan's public saga. It's what makes her one of the most talked about figures in contemporary celebrity and royalty. Finally, let's explore what all this means for Meghan Markle's future, and whether she can rewrite the script to regain favor and redefine her legacy. Looking ahead, Meghan Markle's future remains a compelling question mark. With the weight of public criticism and a fiercely divided audience, how does she move forward? The answer might lie in embracing transparency while balancing the delicate dance of celebrity and royal expectations. She has the opportunity to reshape her narrative by focusing on causes close to her heart: philanthropy, mental health, and social justice, areas where she's shown genuine passion. These efforts could soften her image and connect her with audiences beyond the tabloid headlines. However, the shadows of past controversies and Hollywood skepticism won't fade overnight. Rebuilding trust requires consistent authenticity and a willingness to engage without defensiveness. Her recent candid moments suggest she's aware of this challenge. From a cultural standpoint, Meghan embodies a modern intersection of fame, race, and royalty, a story that challenges traditional narratives and forces society to confront uncomfortable truths. This dynamic ensures she'll remain a topic of conversation, whether loved or criticized. Strategically, integrating trending themes like #ToneDeaf Meghan and capitalizing on viral moments with humor and openness could help Meghan regain footing in popular culture. The key is balancing sensational headlines with real substance. At the end of the day, Meghan Markle's saga is a fascinating case study on the power and pitfalls of modern celebrity intertwined with ancient institutions. Her journey reminds us that public figures are human, caught in the complex web of image, expectation, and identity. So, as Meghan continues to navigate this turbulent landscape, one thing's certain: her story isn't over yet. The spotlight may have burned bright and hot, but the next act is waiting, and the world will be watching. And remember, folks, in this game of fame and royalty, the story is always evolving. Who knows what the next headline will bring?